Let's talk about restrictive cardiomyopathy. It is also known as obliterative cardiomyopathy. This is called restrictive cardiomyopathy because here the problem lies in restriction of dilatation of both the ventricle. And because of this restriction, our both atria tries to contract hard to push blood from atrium to ventricle, which lead to hypertrophy of both the atrium. Now let's see the various causes of restrictive cardiomyopathy. Our first cause will be amyloidosis and second cause will be sarcoidosis. The third will be endomyocardial fibroelastosis and fourth will be radiation. This is mostly mediastinal radiation. And the fifth but not the least important cause is hypereosinophilia. Now let's see various symptoms of restrictive cardiomyopathy. This symptom is broadly divided into two parts. First part is because of right ventricular restriction and second part is due to left ventricular restriction. Now let's see the problem arises due to restriction of right ventricle. Our first problem will be pedal edema. This is pitting type of pedal edema, and if the disease progresses, they may lead to ascites, and from ascites it may lead to enlargement of liver. Sometimes we may also get Kushmal sign. Normally what happens, at the time of inspiration, any person JBP will fall, but in various conditions like restrictive cardiomyopathy and constrictive pericarditis, this JBP will paradoxically rise, and this is called Kushmal sign. Now let's see the problem arises due to problem in left ventricular restriction. First problem will be pulmonary edema. If the disease progresses, patient may experience effort intolerance. This effort intolerance is due to decrease in cardiac output. Let's see the investigation part of RCM. If any patient came to us with a complaint explained previously, the first thing we will do is chest X-ray. This is a chest X-ray of a patient of RCM. Here, the costodiaphragmatic angle is blunt, so it is showing pleural effusion. Similarly, if we see closely, then we can appreciate the enlarged cardiac border. So it is a skygram showing pleural effusion and enlarged heart. The second investigation we will do is ECG. ECG of a restrictive cardiomyopathy patient is always a low voltage ECG, and it may be show some non-specific ST changes. Now the third investigation we can do is Doppler study. In a Doppler of restrictive cardiomyopathy patient, we will get square root wave sign. This is not a characteristic for restrictive cardiomyopathy. The gold standard investigation of restrictive cardiomyopathy is endomyocardial biopsy. In endomyocardial biopsy, we will get fibrosis. But biopsy of constrictive pericarditis will get calcification. So restrictive cardiomyopathy patient will generate fibrosis and constrictive pericarditis will generate calcification. In generally, this endomyocardial biopsy is a very complex procedure, and all the time we are not able to run this test. In that case, we can do cardiac MRI. This cardiac MRI will show the characteristic changes of restrictive cardiomyopathy. Restrictive cardiomyopathy patient is always in a verge of developing thrombosis. So the first treatment will be anticoagulant therapy. And sometimes this patient becomes symptomatic. In that case, we can prescribe diuretics. But if this restrictive cardiomyopathy becomes severe, then we can suggest the patient for cardiac transplant.